Hello, I'm Dan from Ace3 Rentals and Sales, and right next to me is our 2021 Thor 4Winds 28 model. Now today, just like always, I'll be showing you the exterior, the interior, and everything in between, so you'll be ready for your rental. Now starting off on the driver's side, we have this sticker right here that'll show you how high this RV is. This one is 12.5 feet, which means you should be mindful of this height is greater than any regular car. Be careful of parking garages, drive-thrus, unless you're going into New York City. Any tunnel should be fine though. So just be mindful of the height wherever you go. Next to the generator, we have the propane tank. The propane tank for this RV is about 14 gallons. So that means it'll last about 1 week before you'll have to refill it. And you can leave it on during your rental. This is gonna power your stove, your oven, the water heater, the fridge when you're not plugged into 30 amp connection. There is a meter out here that will show you how full it is, but there is also a sensor inside that will tell you. In the case that you do need to fill it, truck stations and campsites will do it for you. And next to that, we have a little storage area. This one is completely locked, so it doesn't have a latch for this one. Now above that, we have the hot water heater. I'll explain more about this inside, but just know that once you switch it on, you'll hear the flame go on in here, and it'll take no more than 20 minutes to heat your water. And next to that, we have the exhaust for the furnace, so just expect it to be hot, and don't put your hand here. Here we have two inlets. This small white rectangle on the top is your TV cable inlet. We'll give you the TV cable, so once you plug this in, if you have full hookup at your campsite, you'll get all the local channels through cable. If you don't have cable hookup, there's also an antenna in this one, so you can use the antenna instead. And right below that, we have the power cord connector. So this is 30 amps. Pretty much all campsites will have 30 amp connection. We'll also give you a 15 amp adapter just in case. But once you're plugged in with 30 amp connection, all the electrical appliances will work. You won't have to worry about the generator at all. Now in the driver's side rear, we have the dumping outlet. So there will be sensors inside that will show you how full or empty the gray and black waste tanks are. So if you need to empty them, you'll just come over here. We'll give you the sewer hose. You just clip it on like this, clockwise. And once you do that, you stick this part, the 90-degree elbow, into the ground at your campsite, wherever else you're dumping. After that, you have two valves here. They're color-coded. One is gray, that's the gray tank, that's your sinks and shower. And the black valve is the black tank, that's your toilet. Once it's pulled out like this, that means it's open. So if there were anything in the pipes right now, they'd be coming out. Once you're done, we recommend you open up the black one first, then the gray one to flush it out. But when you're done, push down on them, and this will close it. Unhook your sewer hose, and that's it, you're all set. Also over here, you have the gas cap. This is how you'll fill up your fuel. It's just regular gas, no premium or diesel. Next to that, we have all these different kinds of inlets. This one here is your city water. So we'll give you the hose for this. If you're at your campsite and you want to take their water and put it directly into your pipes without worrying about your fresh water tank, you'll hook it up in here. If you do want to use it off of the fresh water and you need to fill up the fresh water tank, you'll use the same hose and stick it in here. And this will fill up the tank itself. So again, like if you're on the road, you want to use the sink or the shower, you take it off the tank, and this is how you fill up that tank. Below that, you have the tank flush valve. That's just for us. You won't have to worry about this one. All the way in the back here, you have one big storage area that goes across from the driver's side to the passenger side. Over here, we have all the hoses and cords that we'll give you. This right here is your power cord. You're gonna stick that into the connector that I showed you earlier. Again, this is 30 amp connection. This here is your fresh and city water hose. So those inlets that I just showed you, you'll use that hose for this. In this right here, we have the TV cable, and this yellow thing right here is the 30 amp to 15 amp adapter. So in case you don't have 30 amp connection wherever you are, it's just a regular wall outlet. And finally, just as I showed you, we have our sewer hose bag right here. Now in the back of the RV, we have a couple things to show you. First of all, that little black rectangle there is your rear view camera. So it'll go out about 8 feet total. You can have it on when you're driving, or when you put it in reverse, it'll also pop up on the display. have the ladder here that goes up to the roof. You won't have to worry about the roof at all. It's just for surface repairs and stuff like that. And we have the second door that goes into that large storage area in the back. If there were a spare tire, you'd put it here. And you have a little extra compartment here. And onto the passenger side here, we have the third and final door for that large storage area. And you have a little extra storage space down here. Next to that, we have the propane outlet. So if you were to bring a grill at your campsite, you can hook it up to the propane tank on this RV and take propane from there instead. Here are just two 110 volt 15 amp outlets. Again, just make sure the generator is running or you're plugged in for these to work. And next to that, we have the outside of the fridge. So this is going to start leaking water. It's just condensation. It's not broken or anything. So just expect water to come out from here. And finally, on the outside, we have this long storage area. These are meant for like beach towels or umbrellas. They're perfect for storing here. Now that we're done with the outside of the RV, we can head inside. And first things first, you have a little screen door here that goes with the cabin door. It'll connect like this. A few things you should note when you first step into the RV. First of all, you have your fire extinguisher to my left right here. Right in front of me, below these steps, you have the house battery. The house battery will be charged when you plug in the RV or when you turn on the engine. It's going to be for very minor electrical things like the lights and the awning, so you won't have to have the generator on just to turn on a light, for example. And on the right here, you have the switch to turn on and off the house battery. Again, you can just leave that on. You won't really have to worry about that unless there's some kind of service issue. You have the ceiling lights, outside lights. You have the step light, the entry light right here. The awning light are the LED lights that go across the awning outside, and the switch is for the awning itself. So if I were to open it, this goes out about 8 feet total, and it is only for shade, so if it gets windy or rainy, you should turn it in. And lastly, you won't have to worry about this. This is just for the battery. Now over here is probably the most important part of the inside of the RV. This is your control panel that will tell you everything you need to know. So first of all, over here, you have all the levels of all the tanks in the RV. LPG stands for liquid propane gas. This is your propane. If you hold this down, you can see that this one is 2/3 full. So these lights indicate empty, 1/3, 2/3, and full. The battery you can expect to be charged. Fresh water is 2/3, and the black tank and the gray tank are both empty. Over here you have the water pump. This will run on the house battery, so if you just want to use water from the faucets, you just switch this on and water will come out. We recommend you have this off when you're driving, just in case a faucet opens, you don't want water going all over the place. And you have two options to heat up the water. When you're not plugged in, you're going to use the propane. So if I were to switch this on right now, it'll take no more than 20 minutes to heat up the water with propane. So if you want to take a hot shower, just plan that much in advance. If you are plugged into 30 amp connection, you can use the 110 volt electricity starter. So we're not plugged in right now, but if we were, 20 minutes, you'll get hot water that way. Finally, you have everything you need to know about the generator. This little meter here will tell you how many hours the generator has been running total since we had this RV. So you can see right here, you can keep track of your hours like this. If you want to turn on the generator, you hold down stop first to prime it until this light turns on. And then you hold down start. And there you go. Electrical appliances will take no more than 2 minutes. You know that everything will be powered when the microwave beeps. Over here is your thermostat. We have the generator on, so the AC unit will work on the roof. So here are your controls. You just use this to change the temperature itself. You have the different settings for the AC. So if you were to set this to fan or cool, you'd use the generator, or if you're plugged in, it would also turn on the AC. Again, make sure that when you're using the generator, don't turn on the AC and the microwave at the same time. If it's, for example, the winter time and you want to use heat instead, that will not use the generator, that will use the propane or the house battery. So I'll just switch this to off here, and you can control how powerful the fan is, low or high. Also, as a safety precaution, we have the smoke detector up on the ceiling next to the cabin door. And down here, below the dinette area, we have a carbon monoxide and propane detector. And right here, it's hard to see, but you have the fuse box right here. We'll give you extra fuses for this. Next, I'll show you how to find channels on the TV. First of all, just match the logo to the TV. Press the power button, wait a few seconds for it to turn on. Once it's on, you're going to hit the source button here. Hit TV, make sure you're on TV and not HDMI or anything else. Hit menu, go to channel. Air means antenna, but if we were plugged into cable, you use cable instead. Instead, I'll switch over to the antenna. The air, auto scan, start to scan, and it'll find channels for you. Over here in the living area, we have the sofa here, has enough seat belts to seat 3. And over here you have the dinette. This is enough for 2 people. Both of these can turn into beds, and I'll show you that right now. The sofa pulls out like a futon. It's the simplest one. Just like this. And as far as the dinette goes, I'll show you that right now. All I've done so far is just take the cushions out of the couches. All you have to do is just take this latch, swing it to the left here all the way, and then you can push down on the table here. Finally, you just lay those same cushions across here, and this is your bed. Now, as far as the kitchen goes, to my right here we have the fridge and the freezer. This is going to run on propane when you're not plugged in, so that's why you should keep the propane on the whole time. Once you do plug into 30 amp connection, it will automatically switch over to electricity. So no matter what, the fridge will always be running. Now to my left here, we have the rest of the kitchen. We have the sink here, pretty self-explanatory. We keep the turntable for the microwave in the sink just in case the latch breaks. It's plastic, but rarely ever happens. If you want to use the sink, just make sure the water pump is on. The microwave is just a standard house microwave. Again, AC in the microwave while you're on the generator, not at the same time. And below that, we have the stove. This is going to run on propane. So all you have to do is just set it to the fire option, hit the burner, and there you have it. Once you're done, just wait a few minutes. Once you're done, just don't put the lid on just yet. If the gas gets trapped in there, the glass might shatter. You don't want that happening. And this looks like a stove, but it actually is just a drawer. Over here, this is the bathroom area. The shower and the toilet and sink are disconnected. So over here you have your shower, just regular cold hot faucets. And on the other side here, we have the rest of the bathroom. The toilet just acts as an airplane toilet, so you just have to push down on this pedal here with your foot to flush it down. The toilet paper is RV specific. You'll have to go to the camping section at Walmart, or camp stores themselves will sell this for you. In the sink here we have some little solutions. This bottle is for in case the smell from the black tank comes up through the toilet. You just pour the bottle down there, the smell will go away. Also in here you have some more cabinet space. You have the lights and the fan and the skylight here. In the back here you have your master bedroom. You have a little privacy in here. You just pull this out like this. Also in here you have your own TV. You have your own thermostat. You have all this cabinet and drawer space over here. You can hang your clothes in here. And you have 2 windows and a skylight on the ceiling. To open the windows for this RV, all you have to do is just take the slash, push down here, pull it across, and then you have your screen door here as well. For the curtains, they're just pulled down and pushed back up. You have an overhead bunk for more sleeping space here. Got a privacy curtain. All you have to do is just take this rectangle, put it across here, and then the ladder will go onto these latches here. Now that we're in the cab, I'll show you this envelope here that we keep. This purple envelope here will have your registration. We have a little Ziploc bag here for the extra fuses, and we also have your RV manual in case you have any questions. Over here we have the keychain. This key right here is for the ignition. These two here are for the cabin door, and these are for the compartments outside. If you have any questions on the road, we have 24/7 roadside assistance. Just call the number on the keychain. On this display here, we have a bunch of different settings. We have the radio, we have the Bluetooth music and phone, and you can also have your rear view camera on when you're driving. And it will also pop up automatically when you put the RV in reverse. And just in case you're curious, we have the parking brake right here. Just push down with your foot, and to release it, there you go. And that's all I have to say for our 2021 Thor 4Winds 28A model. I've been Dan from ACV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.